What was the story with the Hollow Rangers? You mentioned was there the Hollow Rangers won something to do?
I had the one in say 70 or 60. There's a song about him there, yeah. So we went up. I wasn't on the team; I was never any good. But went up this day to play a crowd up in Graignaman at the Black and Whites. That time we'd be up in the morning, like, of a Sunday morning. But you'd be up at 7 o'clock and you're feeding cattle, like, with baskets and yolks and grain and turnips and everything, yeah. We went down that time. Willie Roach used to bring us in the early. I should have let him dead now, anyhow. But anyhow, went down this day, anyhow. And the row started. I think the Hollow was winning. It was only a practice match, but for a set of watches or something, anyhow. So the row started anyhow, and then boxing started, right? So myself and Jack was after doing a bit of scrapping in the old boys club in the town here, like, We thought we were good, like, right? Fucking, there was 2 or 3 around Jack betting them anyhow, and there was only 3 selectors that morning. Mike Kinchler, John Vaughan and Paddy Jordan. And the row started there under the fucking car anyhow. The lad of the car got it best. I done right. So I went up anyhow where Jack was anyhow and said, oh, Jay, we're going good for a while. Johnny Frayne, them, the box that's hard is a good box. I'm Larry, the Badger and all of them. And the cunt that rose it was Willie Gilly. And he got an airbag. He lay on the ground, like, right? So we had to run the latter end anyhow. I've now been killed. Jeez, we came home and anyhow, go up the next morning and here we were, trying to shove a bit of goodie here in the corner remotely, Fucking, no, they wouldn't hit you with a hurl, but by Jay, they would hit you with boxes. Back of our heads and only was sore. My father got me with him at the time, he said, where were you gobshits yesterday? He was after hearing the holiday that night, the shit had to be behaved, I says to Jack, don't ever you ask me to go with you again, right? Oh. He was sore for a whole week after me, not the world, They wouldn't hit much. Willie Kelly with the father, he held out with the hurl straight in the bird. Bastard. He got nerve scared. Yeah, he got nerve scared. So the one in 58 and the one in 60 and should have made up a song about it and all. There's a song written about us there in the whole book, yeah, they were Hardy Jocks. Yeah, Hardy Jocks.
Do you know it?
The song I do.
Did you sing it?
I could see a bit of it.
Well, sing it.
It's fucking too long.
Sing a bit of it.
Sing a bit of it.
Yeah, sing a bit of it. I'll wait till I see them.
No, sing it all, it'll be fucked.
I won't!
We won't get a chance to do it otherwise.
Well, there's about 20 verses in it.
I don't know how we're going in it.
I've got 5 minutes left.
Give me that book there, right, till I see. Where is it, that book?
Just in case he forgets.
In case if he gets it.
Come here, who wrote this Hollow Rangers? Who wrote
That song, Ritchie Frayne.
Ritchie Frayne. Now, no relation of mine, but he's the same name.
He was good at it.
He wrote
He was really good
it's
now.
terrible. He wrote a whole lot of songs about different events here in the parish. And it's an awful shame. There's only a few of them. They were never documented. And with now the Hollow Ranger song, everybody knew that. But there was other songs he wrote about little parties and the trashings and
things like that.
anything kind of controversial, and they were very funny. And I got in touch with a relation of his a few years ago, and he said that no, he didn't. Nothing was written down. Now we have old Miley Lampard. It is dead, Lord of mercy on him. He gave a couple of songs there that he remembered, but there was several others that we don't know. And
the whole book is get for him there. They're interesting, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Back a long time ago, like,
He was a Frayne, let's see where, he was a brother to John Frayne down the lane, an uncle to the Fraynes down there.
No, Eddie Oaks, man.
No.
Well, maybe way back he might have been, yeah. I think
He always says he's related, isn't
you wouldn't remember Mrs. Spit Roach, you wouldn't. No.
Miley Roach's mother.
Was
she Miley's mother? She was.
She was. Miley Roach's mother
was a Frayne.
That's Miley that's dead now,
Old
that killed at the top of Milo's Hill there. His mother was a brother, a sister of this lad, the Ritchie sounds like, He, I tell you who was related home. He went to town then after and he happened and one in town and Merryman. He didn't get married to her, did he?
No, up to Shannon, yeah. He
lived
with her.
Up here, up there.
He's only a great-grandson or something.
Yeah, but that's what I mean.
But the funny thing about him was his sister, this Mrs. Spit Roach.
You're all talking about her as well.
She had a party one night And she was kind of gone a bit up in the world and didn't recognise the brother that much now, you know. She was a small woman, but her husband's a big, tall man. But he wrote, she had a party, and you know bits of it. Did she invite you? Who, the records?
Spit being a big fella, 6 foot in his stockings. The missus being smaller though higher in mine.
That's right.
And when having a dance or any sort of a party, enough of the big shots she never could find. She invited the records, the bows and the furlongs. They were all farmers. The cranes of Ballyhaden and a few out of town. She searched the whole county for broken down farmers. A few rambled in, but the most let them down. You know, that's it. No.
He knows that bit of it,
Yeah,
and it's very funny.
Tell us the rest of it there, go on.
No, he doesn't.
No, the rest of it. I know what, but I'd have to think of it. You know.
But
I'd say it was very good.
But
very
now,
good.
he wrote that about his own sister's party.
Well, his own sister's party. Because he was not. He was a booker on them songs. Oh, Jesus. He was going now, he'd be worth millions. Because he was here to put them together, like, you know what I mean? Huh? Right, okay, you're really good, like, huh?
The one about the trashing is good. I think it's in the other.
I'll leave it there, be done.
Do the Hollow Rangers for me there, when we have it. You sing it.
I'll sing a bit about talking or singing.
I'll sing it. I'll start off singing first. I'll leave the ear of it.
And that's the end of the interview for today.
Right.
He's not coming back.
In the year of 1960, on a cold November day, we thronged the road to Wexford Park to see the Rangers play. That's not there. The junior hurling final against the boys from Cushinstown. But our brave lads, they were too big and they quickly wore them down. The pitch was wet and greasy, and it from way up here. The scorecard B was busy, kept scoring down. She's 17 for the range, 1-3 was up and down.
Who is he?
When the game was over, was then the chair undressed. The shorter hand around him, his hands were shook and pressed. I made talking now, we gotta get him there. Up spoke Fat John as he came on to greet him with a cheer. But the answer Kelly gave him, he didn't like to hear. They got into the motor cars, no time was delayed, with colours flying in the breeze and their jerseys well displayed. Their shouts came on the Rangers, they heard both loud and clear, re-echoed from the Slaney banks way out across Bree Hill. They sang a song as they came on to Enniscorthy town, and there you would think was the Congo that quickly nearly tore it down. Out through the Duffy they headed for the Tar. That night was spent in merriment in Frayne's public bar. The time went fast as jokes were passed and the game talked o'er and o'er, till the Enniscorthy Garda walked in upon the floor. Gar Gorman and Sergeant Morrissey took out their books and pens, and they walked around the 50 found the names of those young men. The names were no exception, for they took them rich and poor, recalling that young model man Bob Gray from Ballinure. His face had turned from joy to woe, and his heart had almost failed. He said what will the cannon say when e'er he hear the tale. And also for his father, this he surely hear, caught on a licensed premises, and he is stick pioneer. But turning on his heels, he says, I think there's worse than me. What about Jack Bolger, and he a great PC? That was me father. Big Peter Dillon of Marshalstown was standing on the floor. He made a dash for freedom and almost broke the door. Away across the roadway and headed for the hill. Was only that he was caught, or I'd say he was running still. When they were recaptured, the men made no denial. They said they do like Paul Singer, they would go and sit their trial. The day of the court they all turned out to Enniscorthy town. The captured men were fined £1 and the public in a crown. They said it was for the Rangers' sake and the fines they did down pay, and they'd hope to meet again next year and win a fair grade. That was written by Frayne, and that Peter Dillon of Marshalstown now. He escaped that night, right? And Miley Roach got to be good to him, right? Miley went into the barracks next morning. And Miley's name was on that and his wasn't, and Miley said he was going no fine, so they had to put down Peter's fucking name on as well. So Peter got fined, he wasn't caught that. That was 1960.